Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Oh my goodness, growing up, absolutely loved doing models. Hobbies took up so much of my time. My brother and I especially loved doing cars and, you know, army tanks and planes and that kind of thing. And you know, it continues to this day, and it's a great way to get young people and older people like myself off of those screens and doing something that's a lot of fun. And I am joined by Bill Chappell. He is the owner of the Hobby Center. Welcome back. Great to have you back here, Bill.
Thanks for having me back, Derek.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You know, I said it myself, and I think it is a really important thing to try to get kids away from the distraction of screen time. What better way to do it, Bill, than hobbying, right?
Exactly. I've been doing this for 37 years, running the Hobby Center. And of course, I make a living selling hobbies, but now I find my focus is more on selling the idea of hobbies and getting people to do hobbies, because there's so many benefits. And, you know, one of the big ones you described, getting them off the electronics and doing things with their hands and their minds. Yeah.
What about some of the other benefits?
I've been a stress relief.
Yeah.
Sense of accomplishment when you make things, you know, that pride of showing that handcrafted thing you've done. These hobbies we sell, they're like an artist's canvas, and you can make them simple, you can make them complicated, and everywhere in between. So you install your own level of personality and finesse into them.
You mentioned 37 years. I mean, there must have been a ton of changes over those 37 years, but I'm sure a lot have stayed the same. Like there must be some, like I mentioned, cars and, you know, army tanks and things like that. That's still around, but what else have you seen sort of, let's say, the last couple of years? What's becoming more popular?
Oh, lots of science fiction movies. You know, Star Wars is big again. We have these Japanese kind of robot mech models, and, you know, with the advance in electronics for, leisure electronics, also miniaturization, so the radio control, smaller and smaller, more complex for less money, you know, that sort of thing.
Let's talk about, you've got the parking lot hobby trunk sale and flea market coming up. Tell me the idea behind this, Bill.
Okay, this started during COVID. And you remember in the dark days of COVID, we could only have like 5 or 10 people indoors.
Right.
So people were really wanting to have a social event. So we had our conventions where we had contests and sales and so forth. None of that was going on for a number of years. So we were trying to figure out, how can we do something? So let's do it outdoors. There's less restrictions outdoors. So the first one we had, I think we were up to 100 people could be outdoors.
Yeah.
We all wore masks. We did it very safe. But man, it was fun. And it was great to get together while, you know, all this was going on. So we did another one. And then we did another one. Now, of course, COVID is pretty much over. We still have to be safe, but it's pretty well done. People like it so much, we're continuing on with this.
Good
it's a
for
great
you.
Social event. You get to meet other hobbyists. You get to get a deal. You get to find that crazy kit maybe you've been looking your whole life for. There it is, you know? It's just so much fun.
I guess part of the idea, too, is if you have some older, you know, models, some unwanted ones, right, that perhaps have been sitting in your closet for a long time, if you're not going to use them, if you're not going to build them, I mean, why not bring it and give somebody else an opportunity to do it, right?
It's a type of recycling. Turn your stash into cash. So if you have a basement full of stuff, you have that unfinished Mustang model.
I do, yeah.
You might have to sell that off someday. I don't know. Yeah.
And as you said, you know, it is very social. So this is also an opportunity if you love hobbies, if you love doing this kind of thing and you're looking for other people. I compare it to gaming, right? My brother's, you know, my age, you know, 50 some years old, and he was trying to find somewhere, where can I play board games, right? Where it's not just a bunch of, you know, 10-year-olds, and he's found that. Hobbying must be the same type of thing too, Bill.
The same. Many of the people that will be selling off their excess and whatnot are members of the local hobby clubs. So you get to meet people. You can ask them questions. You can actually learn about the hobbies as much as, you know, it's not just about the buying and selling. It's about social, making contacts, and, you know, really getting into your hobby.
Let's talk about Operation Vet Build. This is something else, if I remember correctly, Bill, came out of the pandemic as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the initiative where a lot of legions are having model building sessions for veterans, and it helps them with stress relief, PTSD, and all that. You know, that focus, that accomplishment, you know, that we were talking about really applies to people like that. First responders, you know, all kinds of people like that. Hobbies are really, really good for that. So one of the events we had, like, we charge $20 for a space, parking space. So sell it out of your trunk, set up some tables, put up a tent awning. The space is yours to do what you want.
Yeah.
There's no cars in that back section of the lot, so you can go right out into the parking lot. So it's quite a bizarre looking atmosphere, right? So they're out there, you set these things up. up, everybody goes around and sees what they want. So that some of that money in the past we've given to Ukraine Relief.
Okay.
We gave it to Operation Vet Build. And this time the money's going to a little bit of different. It's going to our own kind of charity. We're going to have to relocate the store at the end of this. Yeah, so
what's happening?
We're probably going to take the money and put it into part of the pot for the relocation expenses.
Why the relocation?
Our lease is up, and we would like to get a different location, something a little more suitable to us and cost effective. So this is the first time I've said this openly.
Really?
So
this is like an exclusive.
You scooped it, yes, sir.
But I mean, at the actual event too, will you still be taking donations for?
Yes.
Okay.
If you didn't sell this kit and you still have it and you want to donate it for the vets, more than welcome. We'll have a box or something set up to take those donations.
Yeah, and you know what I love is the fact that you're bringing it to vets, and it is something that brings them together too, right? I mean, and many of them are on fixed incomes, and you know, sometimes if you want to get a pretty nice model, it's not exactly cheap for some people, right? So this is again a great opportunity for that. You brought some examples along. Let's just talk about a couple of the things you brought.
Things that might or may not be there. You know, there's all kinds of model kits. There's cars. There's military. There's ships. There's aircraft. You know, there'll be just hundreds of these things. This represents like an antique toy maybe somebody had in their basement they didn't want anymore, an old battery-powered boat. Books, people will be selling off their reference books, you know, books about planes and boats, the same as the models. Pre-built, you know, die casts, already made stuff that you may have and you no longer want to possess. Somebody else might really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. People are collectors, right?
Model trains. Some people have a basement full of model trains they aren't using.
Oh man, have you ever visited somebody that has like the full track set going on? And I mean, how much detail they put into those? It's just magnificent, isn't it?
Complete basement full of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Remind everybody where and when it's happening, Bill.
So it's May the 28th with a rain date of June the 11th.
Okay.
It's in the back parking lot of the store. That's at 33 Royden Place.
Yeah.
Okay, in Nepean, near the Costco at Maryville and Hunt Club.
Wonderful. Bill, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Cheers.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this.